Hey, welcome back to the channel, and on this episode we are going to install this new Boss BCP62RC double din radio in the Suzuki Samurai. Now, if you're familiar with a Samurai, you may know that there is essentially no factory radio space to speak of. We're choosing this particular stereo to put into this vehicle because it has a really cool feature, and that is it has an actual volume knob. Now, the other Boss radios I put in with the 7-inch screen in my Humvee and my GMC Sierra over here just have the push button volume. It's not the end of the world, but a knob is just more natural, especially with a manual transmission. All right, guys, just tell me, is your workbench as messy as this one? Are your drawers overflowing and don't close like those? And are your nuts and bolts scattered all over the garage? Do you have totes of parts that you didn't label and you just kind of put them in there? Well, congratulations. You're actually a do-it-yourselfer. So it's not that deep, but you have all the height that you would have of a new, more modern OE radio. And the feature that is driving this whole thing is our volume knob. How cool is that? I have to get that 10-gallon worth of audio sound into a 5-gallon hat. And that is where some creativity is going to come in. It's going to be different for every one of you doing an install. I had picked up some of this scrap UHMW plastic. This is 3/8 of an inch thick. So I got to work on building something out and doing some trim work. Let me get into that, and the big excitement will be powering this thing up and going through it. This should end up sitting flushing in here, giving me a place to put power outlets, and then of course drop this radio in. But now I have to do the dirty and cut this vintage beautiful bezel. Hey, this is where we landed on this one. So I've got the 3/8 inch plastic bezel rebuilt. Goes around the radio. Then I trim these mounts to create like a backstop to make that tight. Drilled and tapped these with threads that are held through on the outside of this housing. Unfortunately, I had to cut the housing, but you know, could be worse, could be better. And I can't wait for the sweet moment that we pull that protective tab. So the backup camera is pretty simple. There are a couple things to know about it. This is going to have to run all the way to the back of the truck. On the front side, you have this connection. You will have a line that says rear input camera. That is easy peasy. This wire has to be hooked up to your backup lights. So when you put it in reverse, bink, it will recognize and flip your screen backwards. First thing is to kind of figure out how we're going to get this all the way back to the license plate. I'll go get that done. It's going to vary depending on your car. We'll go get one put through here. So hooking up the rear camera, really straightforward. It has adjustments right here that you loosen and tighten when you get it in the spot. We'll do that after we get it all hooked up. Make sure that we're seeing what we want to see. It's super helpful to have a wiring schematic when you're trying to figure out your backup light location. I was doing some digging, and it tells me here that this yellow has power whenever the ignition is on, goes to the transmission, and sends it through a red to the backup lights. This is the red wire right here. I'm going to go take it out of reverse. And there you go. So that's the wire that I need to tap into so that my camera powers up and lights up as I back up the truck. This is your hands-free microphone. These things work really well, but it has to be fished down through and around. And then there is a plug on the back that says microphone. So we're gonna work on getting this guy in next. These were recommended. I called Boss, spoke to their customer service, technical service people, and they were really, really awesome to go over the numbers and specs and things to make sure that we were balancing up. So they do come with a template. I'm going to be underneath there cutting just a tad to get this to drop in. This is the amount that I actually trimmed off, and I'm thinking some swift, accurate blows with a hammer probably could have rolled the lip in. Oops, enough to achieve the same goal, but that's what your rough edge looks like. We're just about ready to wrap this up. The ending will come when I can peel that protective cover off that radio. Everything's just kind of temporary in here. I did a quick plug in and made sure that it powered up. And now we're going to go back and clean up the wires. I have to do some trim out for that speaker. Other one is in. The rear speakers were really easy. Just ran the wiring up and around and put a couple of holes in our quarter panel trim. And there we go. So got our front ones, rear ones. Radio's kind of loose in there right now, just kind of test fitting it. And it does play. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this wiring, and then we'll go through the whole thing and see how it does. This is our accessory cigarette lighter. This is our main plug for the radio. This is our antenna. This is the backup camera, and there's your microphone. Everything should plug in real nice. Getting ready to install it. I put a P-clamp back here to help keep everything organized. Yeah, that guy's gonna go on right there. He's a tight fit. Clears my mechanism for the HVAC. I'm gonna go ahead and get this bad boy attached and get to that sweet moment of pulling the plastic off. Well, here comes the moment, the big moment. Would you mind please pulling the plastic off the cover for me?
Can you get like a drum roll or anything?
Brrr.
It's hard. Okay. Okay,
Here
you
it
ready?
is. Yep. Do it. Do it.
Ta-da!
All right, that's it. It is now officially installed. All right, radio is installed, plastics removed from the cover. I've had an opportunity to check it all out. Let me take you in here and show you the features on this really, really cool Boss Elite radio. Takes a few moments to boot everything up. There's our handy volume knob. Just a couple things cruising around. When you have this unit, you have Bluetooth audio, auxiliary, AV input, and of course your tuner. It has features here for adjusting your display settings, your time zones. You can adjust your stereo system here, change your custom inputs for your equalizer. Pretty nice. In reverse, there we go. That's our backup camera. And then when we take it out of reverse, it'll go back to your radio. So that is just such a cool feature. Absolutely love that. It's gonna get us into our phone, and there's our Apple CarPlay that is opening right up. That is so cool. So you got your tunes, you got all of your Apple CarPlay features on your radio exactly like you would have on a fancy brand new machine. We can look at our maps. We can look at our music. How cool is that? You can dial out on your phone, and remember, you're going to use that microphone to have hands-free dialing. So you got all the features on here of your Apple CarPlay. We can also just stream through Bluetooth if we don't need the screens. If we just want to listen to the music, we can do that as well. Got our tuner, got our hands-free dialing. We got all of our features right here, just like a modern car in a 1988 model. Absolutely love these radios. I love bringing the futuristic, contemporary, modern technology into an old machine like this. This radio actually just looks factory at this point. Really beautiful unit. And these things are like, you know, $200 with the backup camera. It's a pretty amazing deal on these radios. Apple CarPlay. That'll do it. So we'll bring you along next time we come up with a cool product or feature or something else that breaks.
Thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next one.
I do not. It's a slightly smaller screen than the 7-inch models that I've put in my other